Welcome to Muslim Apologetics Australia. Let's review the shocking video. Shocking! Australia converting to Islam.
Who are converting to Islam. They're giving up their Western lifestyle and choosing to follow the rules and traditions of the Muslim faith.
Okay, so let's pause it there. Converting to Islam means giving up the Western lifestyle and following the traditions of Islam. What does that mean? No, Tracy. When people accept Islam, it doesn't mean you give up the traditions of the Western values. No, we still have barbecues, they're halal. We may not drink beer, but we may drink non-alcoholic beer, and we still can go to some festivals, and we can still go camping, and we can still go and watch the footy. Yes, we're not giving up all of the Western lifestyle. Yes, we may give up night clubbing, but I know a lot of other atheists who have given up alcohol and night clubbing. So notice how the media is putting up this fear mongering. Oh, if you become a Muslim equals you've become anti-Australian.
Former Aussie surfer Mark Tocock is now Malik Islam.
Whoa, and look at the music they play in the background, like this guy is already a guilty terrorist.
And he's not alone in changing his name and
He's not alone in changing his name. Who is the other suspect who has also changed their name?
Western lifestyle.
Sort of get caught up in going out to bars and clubs. Yeah, I do pray 5 times a day.
You get up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
4:35.
Blue-eyed, fair-skinned Aussies.
You really get up at 4:30 in the morning? Really? Oh my God, that sounds so radical. That's just too extreme, folks. But you know what? The garbage collectors wake up at 4:30 in the morning too to collect your garbage. Oh, they're not extremists, folks. Who else gets up at 4:30? Who is still at the nightclubs at 4:30 in the morning? Oh, but you get up for 4:30 in the morning to pray? Oh, that's just too extreme, folks. Just too extreme. Oh, and blue eye, blonde hair, becoming a Muslim. Last time I checked, Bosnian Muslims also have blonde hair and blue eyes. But don't talk about those European Muslims. Apparently, blonde hair, blue eyes, becoming a Muslim becomes very controversial, folks. Very controversial. How dare they?
Oh, she has blonde hair.
Yeah.
Embracing a faith that some people associate with religious extremism.
After 9/11, I actually went out and did some kind of nasty things to Muslim people when I seen them in the street.
And their parents. When he said to you, I want to convert, what were your thoughts?
Immediately? Ooh. I mean, geez, what are we going to do?
Rebecca grew up in an Anglican school, loves sport and a suntan.
Now, folks, can you imagine if a Muslim family, they actually had a person convert out of Islam? What would the parents say, I wonder? Well, the parents would say, wouldn't they? So why the controversy when you show a Christian parents or an atheist parents thinking that, hey, this could be a little bit unusual? Any religion or factor of different views, of course their parents will always be against those views because it's not part of the norm. So why do you even make it trivial? And notice how the media says, oh, some people identify Islam with radicalism, yet the broadcaster themselves present it like it was a radical extremist religion, that these people converted to such a radical extremist religion. I mean, look at their headlines. Look at the way they present it. I mean, come on. I mean, is this media pretending to be neutral on the matter, are they?
My parents never enforced religion upon us. I did feel that I did practice my religion. I used to turn up to church all by myself because I've always believed that I've had a relationship with God.
And like many Aussie teenagers, she was also going out partying and drinking.
I was what you would call like an easygoing, free-spirited type of girl.
But she says she found herself getting depressed by the Australian way of life. So 10 years ago, converted to Islam with its strict rules on lifestyle. And then 3 years later, she started wearing the headscarf known as a hijab.
When I was ready to wear the hijab, I made the decision on my own that I want to wear the hijab. But there's no enforcement upon me that I need to wear hijab.
Rebecca grew up in a sporting family. Mum Marie is a World Masters Athletics champion with more titles than the British royal family, while Father John is a world champion at javelin.
So notice, folks, when you Islamophobes want to say the hijab is a sign of oppression, you know, people like Rita Panahi and people like Ayan Ali Hirsi saying that the hijab is oppression, it comes from Saudi Arabia and so forth. Well, you know what? That lady there, she didn't get oppressed when she put it on. She chose to put it on. So let that sink in.
The passion.
Brought up on the beaches of Wollongong, south of Sydney, a very outdoorsy family. When she said she was going to convert, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised. She asked the question, what did I think about her changing and converting to Muslim? And I said, if that's your choice, you're our daughter. You'll always be our daughter, and we're proud of you. And if that's what you want to do, well, then we support you.
And while there are very different physical and social changes to their daughter, they are enormously proud.
Well, the drinking I don't miss. I still go out with my girlfriends. I still have coffee. I still go to fundraisers. I enjoy myself. I actually am so happy with my lifestyle now that I don't really reminisce on the times before.
So did you hear that, folks? She didn't necessarily give up on all the Australian way of life. She still enjoys herself, okay? She said it herself.
Malik, do you miss the Western lifestyle, the night clubbing, the drinking and so on?
There is no benefit from drinking. There's no benefit from clubbing. There's no benefit from gambling. If anything, you know, staying away from those kind of things, I believe can fix a lot of the problems that society has.
Oh, but how dare you extremist Muslims? How dare you don't get sucked into our government policies and enjoy our materialism and pay for our alcohol and drink till your gut is passed out? How dare you not get interested in gambling and give up that Australian way of life that usually ends up a lot of people in suicide and depression? Oh, Islam must be a radical religion, right? You know, we have so many people dying on the road from being killed because they're over the speed limit because they can't control their alcohol addiction. But a Muslim giving up that, oh, he's become radical. He's really become an extremist. He's gone to the extremist tenets of Islam.
Blue-eyed Mark, now known as Malik, got interested in the religion because he liked the way his Lebanese mates at the beach talked about their faith.
Live your life in a peaceful, calm, respectful way. It's about finding a nice way to live life.
He's since met his wife Asma, and together they run a successful small business.
As long as he's happy. And he has been.
His father Brian is a retired salesman, and Mum Chris works at Woolies. And although they don't celebrate Christmas as a family anymore,
We don't love him, Les.
No, still our son.
Yeah, you can never change that.
but he has changed his name.
You felt at
at the time, he wanted to become part of that society, which he couldn't do with his English name, right? He would have always been an outsider.
So it was a bit surprising to them.
Not all parents are as accepting.
They were a bit concerned.
Siobhan grew up in Sydney's eastern suburbs, went to a Catholic school, and is the daughter of a plumber. The bars and clubs are no more.
I found liberation, sort of not oppression, in covering up my body, because I could then, project the true person who I was, not what I looked like, so people could judge me on the content of my character, not on the exterior.
For many Australians, if it wasn't for the hijab, we wouldn't really know their religion. But just like Christian nuns, those Muslims who are more deeply religious say this dress gives them a spiritual connection.
It's teaching you to be more pure, to remember all the time that you are veiled. So check your manners, check the way you speak, make sure you're acting in a correct manner, because a veiled woman, shouldn't be misbehaving.
And so it was they decided to break down some barriers and have National Hijab Day, letting non-Muslim women try one on.
I play sport with women that wear the hijab, and I just want to feel how they felt.
If someone does something bad, it's not a reflection of their faith, it's a reflection of them as a person.
It's not the majority that think like this, that act like this. The rest of us are just trying to live our life in this great country, enjoy it.
Islam, there's also, it teaches us that we have to abide by the law in the land in which we live in. So this whole cock and bully about us Muslims bringing in Sharia law is complete baloney.
Hello, how can I help with your account?
Around the world, Islam is the fastest growing faith. 5,000 mainly white British people are converting each year.
My friends, they've really been supportive. When I started wearing the headscarf, it was a shock, but they've got used to me wearing a scarf, and they don't even see the scarf anymore.
And like here, it's young people looking for a more modest way of life.
Everybody's very loose, you can go out and get drunk. I've never been like that. And this is why Islam was so appealing to me, was because it was a religion where it was quite conservative.
Muslim population is rising from within Australia. Migration is not the major contributing factor.
Islamic expert Dr. Jan Ali from the University of Western Sydney says while the numbers here aren't anything like Britain, Aussies are converting for some simple reasons.
Some sense of belonging, some sense of recognition, some sense of inspiration.
As for Siobhan's parents, they now accept her new faith.
Once I became Muslim, this gave me a guide to life that very much helped me get on the right course for me and give up the bad habits and feel very content.
In a country where you can choose whatever you want to wear, drink freely and eat whatever you want, these young Aussies choose to live this way and not because they married into it.
Do you think that you might one day fully cover yourself? I don't know.
Well, I can't say never, because one time in my life I would have said I've never become a Muslim, and look what happened.
Well, there's a different view of Islam from the radical portrayal we usually see. But now to the...
So there's a different way to Islam from the radical way you portray it. Well, Tracy Grimshaw has actually put a lot of anti-Islamic material out there, and let this be a valuable lesson to her that, hey, Australians are converting, and it doesn't mean that they're becoming radicalised. It means that they're just changing a few bits of their lives just to practice their faith. It doesn't mean that they're becoming un-Australian or anti-Australian and so forth. Well, in the very end, they did show some positive statements about Muslims and Islam, but, I think that Tracy may be a little bit annoyed about that, because those interviewers, those people that they interviewed, did indeed show that they are moderate and they chose the religion for themselves. No one forced them into it, and no one forced them to wear the hijab. No one forced them at the point of the sword to accept Islam? Yes, Australians. There's a true narrative about Islam different from the narrative of people like Ayan Ali Hirsi, Rita Panahi, and Sheikh Tawhidi.